to everything has been, oh, it's been it's been a little bit. So let me get settled here and make sure everything's straight-ish, looks straight-ish. Not the best, but straight enough. Okay. I've got my plexiglass here. I've got a piece of 100% cotton paper. I'm going to tape that down. I do reuse my tape, so you will be seeing my old tape here. That's what I like to use because I can usually get 5 to 7 uses out of it, and that works for me. Okay, so my tape right now is not my favorite tape. It's some Jackson tape that is not great. It does occasionally leak, but I want to use the stuff up. So I've been trying to use it up for some time now, and I will continue, unfortunately, using it until it's gone. So this is a late night live. I just had some time to myself, and I thought I would paint a miniature something or other. No theme, no reference, no nothing, just sort of an intuitive piece. I am going to use my little tiny travel spray water bottle to wet my paper. If you don't have these, I love these little travel ones. So I'm going to use, I think, let's try, you know, I haven't used Christy Rice's little dagger, Art for Joy's sake. I've been using her cat's tongue, but not her dagger. So let's use that. I'm going to use a little bit of a yellow ochre-ish color for my middle horizon here. This is too tiny for the dagger, actually. Let me switch back to a, what do I switch to? I will just use, let me use just a basic round. That everybody has a round, so that'll be nice. That everybody has a round, we can just use that. All right, going heavy with the yellow here. I like to work from the outsides in, so I'm gonna use a little bit of the yellow here. I'm gonna grab a bit of a burnt sienna-ish color and maybe drop that in there along the bottom of the yellow I have going on so far. Let's add a little bit of a lighter yellow up here into the yellow ochre and just see where that takes us. Not really sure again what I plan on doing, or if it has to, it doesn't have to make sense, right? It can just be whatever you want it to be because you want it to be that. I'm not sure why. I thought I could do it that way, so let's just switch that up. For some reason, hello, for some reason I thought that was wrong when I was doing it, but I also thought for some reason, there we go. All right, maybe we won't save this one. This will just be my practice. It's been a while since I've gone live. A little practice run here. So we've got lots of yellows, a little bit of a burnt sienna-ish color. We'll zoom in a little bit more. I'm all over the place here. I may just end up taking this off and deleting it and starting again. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to touch in a little bit of a greenish color that I've already had pre-mixed down here. And let's see, maybe a little bit of a darker green I already have on my palette as well. And hello. And I have a friend. She wants to say hi as well for some reason. She came out just at this time to say hello. All right, and just sort of moving the paint and the colors around to see. Oh, thank you. You're very kind. I practice is probably my only saving grace, as I practice a lot, and so that's what saves me, is my practicing. All right, not loving what's going on here, but let's see, maybe a little bit of gray. Oop, 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 oop. Hello. I'm bumping my camera kitten. All right. Little Payne's gray dropped in there with my green. Come here. Come here. Come on. Trying to get my fuzzy friend off the table. There we go. All right. Little rusty on these lives. And let's see. We'll add a little bit of that. And up in the sky, we'll do a little bit of maybe an ultramarine. That was a little too much. So if you get too much paint, just kind of soften it up like that. So we'll go on this side too. And then we'll just sort of soften that up. We'll kind of touch it with the yellow, but not so much that we get a green, right? We want it to come down to meet that, but not too much. All right, let's see here. So painting. Just playing with colors and experimenting. If something goes wrong, you just pivot, right? In watercolor, for me, there's a lot of pivoting, which just means that I switch up what I'm doing and change direction. And sometimes you have to do that, just like in life. Lots of pivoting, lots of changing your direction and deciding to go a different route. And that's okay. All right, let's take, how about we take a little bit of this purpley pink color, maybe mix that with my yellow, just so we get some texture of different colors going through the sky. This sky's a little boring, and we don't want it to be too boring, I don't think. So we're gonna just drop a little bit of color in like that. There we go. And then we're going to go for a darker green, frame in that bottom portion. Maybe it comes up here a little bit too. Maybe it comes into the center here, just a little bit, feathers in there lightly, just to add some texture. The way we keep our light though is by bringing dark really close to the light. And that way you still get your light. And the light accents the dark, and the dark accents the light, and they work hand in hand. All right, so I'm not sure I loved that I did that, so you can just not take it away necessarily. Sometimes you can if you just scrub out a little bit. And fade that off a little bit more. And then we can grab our smaller brush maybe. And we can tap in some trees, some foliage in the back there. Just like this. We can touch in some other colors down here. Maybe we want a little texture down here too. And we don't have to be very specific or exact on this back here. We can just sort of tap our brush around. I have my brush sort of at a, not quite a 45-degree angle, but not straight up and down. And I just want to sort of give the idea. So lots of pivoting in watercolor, lots of pivoting in art in general, I feel. You have to be ready to change directions and switch up what you're doing at any given time, I feel. Because you never know what's going to work and what's not going to work, I feel. Right? Sometimes things work out really well. Sometimes things go wildly astray. And that's okay too. Sometimes you just are off your game, so to speak. And things just don't feel right. So, all right, touching in some colors just like that. And maybe a few more little darker areas. Just in a few spots. Okay. I think that's just going to be a quick one tonight. So what I'm going to do now is grab my dryer. I'm going to dry that. And then we will add some finishing touches and call it. So when I use my dryer, what I do is I just turn off the sound so that you don't have to hear this dryer. It's a heat tool, and this saves me a lot of time. So I'm going to mute you for a moment, and I'll be right back. At this point, if you wanted to add more detailed foliage, some more trees, anything that you wanted, you could absolutely do that. I don't want to. I just want to keep mine very, very simple tonight. And so what I'm going to do is cover up anywhere I don't want splatter. So I'm going to take my round brush. I'm going to add a little bit of shimmer onto my paintbrush. This is a goldish shimmer. And I'm going to create some splatters. Hello, hello, anybody that's joined, hello. Okay, so splatters, I'm going to cover up the area like I said, and just tap in very gently. Those are some big splatters, so that just means that I had more water on my brush than I may have wanted. That's okay. It's just a little practice one, so I'm not super concerned. Raise my paper up a little bit more so I can get the finer little splatters up higher. All right. So what we're going to do is take a pointed brush and I'm going to get some black and add some birds. There we go. I'll dry off my brush so I don't get a bunch of water spots. And just very lightly. There we go. 2 little birdies. Tape peel comes off. This tape has been used enough so I can finally get rid of this tape. Although this one up here, I will save this piece. So how I peel it off and save it is I grab one end. So people tell me it curls on them. So I grab it like this and then just grab it and then I stick it to my tabletop, just like off to the side here. So I can reuse it so I'm not wasting resources, which I love because there's a lot of waste in the world and I do not want to add to that waste. I take this little plexiglass that I love to use. I wipe it down. I like to clean as I go, so I clean all my supplies as I go. I wash my brushes every night. I lay them flat to dry, and there we go. Just a quick little simple landscape for you tonight. I know it's not my normal time. One day I might have scheduled time for lives on YouTube, but for now it's mostly scheduled times for lives on Instagram. As any of you know that know me, that's where I am. So anyway, hope you have a great night, and I'll see you later. Bye.